this video, and today we'll be getting to look at what an operating system is. But before we actually start or dive in, please, we are begging you guys to please subscribe and like our videos, and please don't forget to leave your comments. Your comments for each video is valuable to us. So, and please don't forget to like and subscribe also. So let's dive in. Today we'll be talking about operating system, and I know most of us already know what an OS is, but we might not be familiar with the word OS, or we might not be aware of it. We all have Android phones. We all have, some of us all have PCs. Now, that interface on your phone that makes you call, that makes you browse, that makes you view, makes you view your photos and also watch videos, and also watch YouTube, like what you're doing right now. That is actually done by an operating system. Now, by definition, an operating system is a system software that acts as an interface between the user, which is you and I, and the computer hardware, and controls the execution of all kinds of programs. That is by definition. Now, let me break this down. What that simply means is that an operating system, it's an interface. It acts as a middleman between you and I, you the user with the computer. It acts as an interface so that you the user can have some controls over the execution of all kinds of programs, giving you the control. Now let's break this down. Taking an example of a ceiling fan in most homes around the world today, you can easily manipulate the controls or the duration of speed or anything you feel like with the wires of the fan. But that won't be a professional or the ideal way to do it. That is why fan manufacturers give out or produce a fan controller which comes with every fan set that makes you control the speed and also off and on, or switch and off the fan. So that itself, that control is a middleman. It serves as a middleman between you and the company itself, which is the fan. It gives you control over the fan to control the speed, at what level you want it to be, and also to give you some accessibility to how the fan functions. That is what an operating system does. Now, an operating system gives you that functionality, that control also, making you communicate perfectly with the hardware, such as the CPU, the I/O devices. What do we mean by I/O devices? The basic input and output devices, as examples such as the keyboard, the mouse, your joystick and the rest, and also your printer, and also the RAM too. The next video we'll also talk about what the RAM is and get to see what the RAM does and its functions. So as we say, operating system also have their goals. Every operating system has its own goal. Without the goal, you don't have a full functional operating system. Now, what do we mean by goal? The first goal of every operating system has to be user friendly. What do we mean by user friendly? If you check this video here, or this display over here, if you have an OS that actually is run by commands and does not have any nice attractive look or interface, most people won't be able to actually use that operating system or be familiar with such operating system. But if you have an operating system like this one over here that has a nice interface, that has something easy for every user to actually work on, just by a click of a button, you get what you want, that will be very, very nice and very, very appropriate for every user. You don't need to have any basic or any any core computer experience or knowledge before you can use your computer. That can actually be done with a very, very well sophisticated and well arranged OS with a very, very good user-friendly interface, or called GUI. Okay, so another aspect of operating system is its functionality or OS. Now, what do we mean by functionality? How the OS manages its resources. Resources like file management. Every file management system always have the first thing keeping track of information, location, users, and status. And well sophisticated OS or well nice OS must be able to actually manage its files well, keep track of the information, the location, and the users, and also the status of every file. Then the second one is the basic management of the basic input and output devices, such as the keyboard, your mouse, your external keyboard, your speakers, your gamepad, and your printers, all kind of input and output devices. It must be able to manage its process when the first one has to actually start, or the second one, because an operating system works very fast. Possibly it manages everything by kilobyte per second. So it has to be able to like execute these things, execute each process very fast. So it must be able to manage these things, the process of every basic input and output devices very well. Then the last one, we're not talking much of this, the last one would be the security. Or an OS must be able to also manage every user, like the authorized user that allows to log in and actually use an account, and also manage each account in the OS. So that is that for the functions and for of an OS, the functionality of an OS, and also the goals of the OS. Now we have Windows to be the most populated or most popular OS out there in the market. But Windows, which is being built or developed by Microsoft, it's not the only OS available in the market. Now we will be diving into some OSs and comparing the differences between these OSs. We'll be comparing Windows 10 and also Windows 11 to see the difference between these two OS, because Windows 11 is a new OS and Windows 11 or probably Windows 10 with another family of Linux, a desktop of Linux, which is an OS called Ubuntu. We'll see the differences between these two OS and why one is better than one in some aspects, and why the other is actually better than this other one on that aspect. For example, the user experience, the user interface, and the rest, and what it is actually meant for, what each OS is actually meant for. So we're diving into this and see how these OSs actually different from each other and how they are also similar together too.
Okay guys, so this is Ubuntu, the OS under the family of Linux, or one of the distros in Linux. Now this OS is similar to Windows but different. Why do you say it's similar? Look at, if we click on the start button, just like in Windows, which is your Windows key, if you click on it, we click on this, it takes you to this application menu. Same thing as Windows menu where you see all your apps, but the difference is the layout here is a bit different. Now Ubuntu has its own office management, like your Microsoft Office. It has its own, like LibreOffice, Libre Text or so, Libre PowerPoint too. Now this LibreText, it's the same thing or similar to Microsoft Word, the one you already know. We'll get to check that later on, but not in this video. Now if we check the file management system too, it's also the same thing like Windows. Look at this, it's loading up, it's putting up. This is the file management part of the OS. Now it has the same folder with the same name as Windows. This is different. It has a nice graphic interface, the GUI, which is interactive for users, like we mentioned earlier, one of the goals of an operating system. Now look at the videos. Here you can actually have a video here and watch your own video. Although I don't have a video right now, but you can actually watch a video here and do whatever you want to do. Same thing as picture, same thing as music. Then whenever you download anything online, you also have it here. So it's similar to Windows. This is also an operating system, but it is not as popular as Windows because it is not as friendly, it is not as user friendly as Windows, but it is also an operating system. It is also in the market, and the difference between this and Windows, one of the key differences is that this is an open source. This is free. You don't need to actually buy anything or any key online, unlike Windows where you have to buy some licenses online. But this is actually free. Its updates are always free. The software, the OS itself, the OS itself, you can download it online for free. Although the size is about 2.7 gig, so you need about 2.7 gig to download the OS online, and it is free. Once you know how to install it, you install it, it works fine. It comes with Firefox web browser. It comes with your Thunderbird mail, which manages your mail. Then it has its own music player, just like the way Windows has its own music player too. And also it has its own store where you can download softwares. If you can see the Ubuntu software part, where you can actually download software and also install different softwares. The same thing with the LibreOffice, as I mentioned earlier, just like Microsoft Word. It is the same, almost the same thing. The same instrument you can actually do there is the same thing you can also do here too. You see it, you have your bold, your italic, and the rest. You can also type anything you feel like. You can change the font. You can change the font to be anything you want. It is the same thing as Windows. So these are some of the things we need to know. Windows is not just the only thing out there, the only OS out there in the market. There are different OS there too. So now let's check on Windows to see some other similarities, especially with the new Windows 11. We'll be getting to look at on the new in the Windows 11 and some new updates to it. This is the latest OS, latest operating system from Windows. Now quickly, let's check the file explorer. Just like the functionality I explained earlier, we can see how an operating system nicely arrange our files in order: the videos, the pictures, the downloads, the documents. We can see it's similar to what Ubuntu also have. So we can see that every nice OS has a well-defined file system arrangement and management. So Windows 11 or Windows OS operating system, it's not the only OS out there. Because of time and the rest, we'll not be able to dive into some new features and some things about Windows 11 we've actually taken notice of. But quickly, Windows 11 comes with Android app, which we can easily download from our Windows Store and get to use them if those who are interested in using Windows 11. And also the new arrangement for applications on Windows 11 is actually nice. To me, it's definitely nice. In the next video or upcoming videos, we'll talk about Windows 11 and make a review on it and see how nice it is.